inside the sound chamber. The International Sound Therapy Association, ISTA, is having its 20th anniversary conference this year in beautiful Omni Hotel in downtown Atlanta. It's going to be October the 2nd through the 4th. We've got some amazing speakers that are coming. We've got a few great surprises that are going to happen. And overall, if you are a sound therapist or you are sound curious, as I like to say, you need to be at this conference because it's one in a lifetime opportunity to meet some of the great OG sound therapists in the world of sound therapy. It's very important that we do this to raise the intention or raise the vibration, if you will, of integrity of sound. One of those OGs, I will say, is with us today. Eluv, welcome to Inside the Sound Chamber.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wonderful to be here. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for agreeing to come and be part of the conference. Eluv, you have been around for some time doing this work, and I'm just so impressed with what you've done, the volume of information you have put out. I want to read a little something about you, if you will. Eluv has presented and performed internationally at conferences and interdisciplinary events exploring music, sound, well-being, and human connection, including at the World Congress of Music Therapy, the International Sound Therapy Association, and the Arts and Mind Village convening at the Strauss Center of the Performing Arts in collaboration with Johns Hopkins University's International Arts and Mind Lab. She's also served as a past board member of the Interdisciplinary Society for Quantitative Research in Music and Medicine. Wow. Eluv, we need you. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited. The class you're speaking on is a great class, very close to my heart. Inner Alignment and Deep Listening, an experiential journey through integrative sound and Ho'oponopono. This is phenomenal. Tell me first, let's back up a little bit. Where did it begin with you? Where were you when you found sound and music?
For me, it actually happened after shamanic journeying. So I actually started with a shamanic practice, working with dolphins and really connecting with the dolphin energy. And the dolphins present sound in such a unique way, and it's their format of communication. So I think that inspired me internally, spiritually, emotionally, mentally. I became sound curious, and I started working at a radio station many years later. So I started my shamanic work in the 80s, and then in the 90s, started working at a radio station. And in the radio station, we had some equipment that was sound, like a sound bed. And we were invited to invite people to experience what it was like to do this sound journey. And I had no idea, kind of going into it, what was going to present. But people were having experiences where they would come back and say, oh, I dreamt this, and this was a clearing, or I had a release. So there was a lot of feedback because we were seeing people continuously. So they would come back. All of this was free, by the way, no charge. So talk about going into a school of experience.
Yeah.
This was like the ultimate school. There was no financials attached. It was all about the sound and the connection with people, the communication beforehand, during, and after. So many levels of beauty and grace in that experience. And somebody had left a sound bowl, a crystal singing bowl, at the station. We didn't know who it was. It just showed up there one day, and I ended up claiming it. I just kind of started using it. And at that time, I was also using a little keyboard. So I'm a psychic medium, and I would go into these sessions and kind of connect in and say, what notes does this person need? Because I didn't have a whole set of bowls. So I would get the note on the keyboard and then I would sing it.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't use the keyboard as the sound modality or the vehicle. It was part of the preparation. And then I would use my voice.
Yeah.
So it was a really interesting dynamic and experience to go back and forth. So that's kind of how it started.
Wow. And you've produced your own music. You've got several recordings that are out now, right? Old school.
Yes.
Right. So you've got several recordings that are out. Did I understand right? Some of are with the Monroe Institute. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
That's a big deal. Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me about that and the binaural beats and how that affects the brain and what you're doing here.
It's interesting because when you're listening to the actual recording, you don't hear a beat per se.
Mm-hmm.
You're just hearing it kind of underneath the music, if you will. So this separation of two different beats at slightly different times, I'm going to just say this really simply so people understand, then creates this connection. And then in that connection is where that healing happens. So
Wow.
there's a technological way that it's done, like it's done through technology. And yet the effect on the person is going into their nervous system. So it's helping them to regulate their nervous system and regulate the vagus nerve.
That is really fascinating, and it's coming full circle because that's sort of what you're looking at the conference with your studies here. Tell me about how does this experiential journey with integrative sound and Ho'oponopono, how is that going to work in what you're teaching? First of all, do you want to describe Ho'oponopono?
Sure. Well, I combine the traditional Hawaiian practice of Ho'oponopono with immersive sound to support nervous system regulation and emotional well-being and deep listening. So the Ho'oponopono is a traditional Hawaiian practice of reconciliation. It's a practice of forgiveness, and it's a practice of restoring harmony. So the word comes, the ho'o is to make, and then pono is right or balanced in harmony. So we are making a balance in harmony. We're making it right. And together it means that the purpose restores this harmony within ourselves and with others and with life. So it's threefold. It's really, really cool. And this practice of going into the Ho'oponopono prepares the inner landscape. So the sound helps people experience that shift physically, emotionally, and mentally. And together they move people from understanding into a direct experience. It's absolutely gorgeous.
It is. I've had some amazing miracles, you might call it, even with Ho'oponopono. And now to really integrate that sound, that music only makes sense. That would exponentially create even more of a opening of forgiveness with Ho'oponopono. That's really phenomenal. What will, as you teach this, as you explore this with the ISTA conference, what do you think that people will be able to come out with? Will they be able to have some techniques for themselves to be able to carry on? What do you think?
Well, my intention is to create a safe space where people can reconnect with themselves through the sound, through the stillness, through the practice of Ho'oponopono. And experience this compassionate awareness. So they may experience deep relaxation, inner calm, emotional release. They may experience greater clarity, greater presence, greater connection, and renewal. And every experience is unique. So within the Ho'opono piece, they will be able to replicate that in their own time, to do it for several different situations that they may apply it to. And then combining this with the sound just helps the mental activity and that support for the nervous system, and encourages this beautiful space of, it's like this space for reflection. And sometimes all that's needed to have a release is to have that stillness and that space, and then people can just have their own transformational experience. So it's going to be very unique for each person and very gentle. It's a gentle approach. It's not going in there saying, oh, you've got to have this happen or that happen. This is all about being kind to yourself and gentle with yourself. So that's one of the main points that I really am always sharing with people from what they share with me. Often we are hard on ourselves unnecessarily, and this creates a kind of conflict within ourselves that we have self-imposed. So to be able to come from the understanding of having self-compassion is a beautiful starting point.
Yeah. The word allowing always comes up when I think about working with Ho'oponopono and the world of sound, because it's very gentle, but when you are able to stay with that gentleness, because we're so trained to, let me get in, let me rip it up, let me fix it. But when you can just sit in that space of allowing, bigger changes happen.
Yes,
and I've seen
definitely.
it over and over again. This is great work you're doing.
Thank you. The sound supports the regulation and the presence. And the Ho'opono, as I mentioned, it helps to restore that harmony. And the deep listening part, that creates the awareness. So together they create this inner alignment with a lived experience of this coherence. People can experience, what does it feel like to be in balance, or more in balance than when I came in? So the more often that we can do that and reach a state of inner harmony, we can bring that out in the world and reference it. But if we have no reference to begin with, if we're kind of out in the world and we're very scattered and ungrounded, the place to begin is in that quiet space of presence and deep listening.
It's very powerful when you have the three-legged stool of sound, deep listening, and Ho'oponopono. It's very, very grounding. That's really amazing. Talk to me about, you've done a lot of conferences and a lot of work around that kind of thing. The conference, I feel, is one of the best places to bring these like-minded people together and really elevate consciousness. Tell me about the experience you have with conferences, and what do you normally get from it, and why people should come to this conference?
Okay, so first of all, I will say that the conferences that I have attended and also performed at have been life-changing in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying this lightly, because the expansion that happens by being in the frequency of all these masters, all these amazing practitioners, it's hard to get that in one place, first of all. So here we are moving into this frequency that is kind of in the unknown of our regular frequency. Excuse me. And it's like we're bathing in that alone, and then bringing in the community element. So you have the element of experience, you have the element of learning, and you have the element of community. And when they're all bridged together, it creates such a coherent space for a person to go through their own experience in their own way at an elevated way. So I've experienced that every time I've gone to an event or I've actually presented. For me, presenting is such a blessing and such a gift, and I really enjoy it. And then being on the other side, and after I present, when I'm going to visit the other practitioners and presenters, that's such a treat. It's such a gift. And to be there in person and learn from these experts, you take away all kinds of things.
You know, you really do. Just being in the energy
Yes.
of the people that are there. And there's the unbelievable masters like yourself that's going to be there. And then you've got the sound curious people that are like, what in the world is this? And you know, you really find that everybody lifts up from this. It's
Yes.
very life-changing. I've seen that myself. Just
And
amazing.
the opportunity to share, that's another gift,
Yeah.
because the participants are sharing with us. They may not realize they're sharing with us, but we are conducting our sound based on the frequency that's appropriate coming from the audience.
Right.
There's a synergy that happens. So every experience is going to be different.
It will be. Every conference is different. Every experience, every event is different. One for the other, because different people are there. This is just amazing. Eluv, I'm just so grateful you're going to be at the conference. We're going to learn so much from you and just be able to really settle into that place of beauty and grace. Is there anything else you would like to say before we go?
I'd like to say thank you.
That's
It's
awesome.
such an honor. It's really an honor. Thank you so much for inviting me. And I am really excited. And as I mentioned before, connecting with people that are sound curious is such a turn on. It's such an amazing blessing to be able to share with people that perhaps are new to this, that are new to the world of sound and all the different modalities within the world of sound and sound practitioners. It's just a blessing. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. And it's so true when you've got these masters, you got the beginners, you know, in the world of meditation, we use the term the beginner's mind. And it's always coming back to that place of where's the simplicity to this, and how does that simplicity actually raise you up more? It's just really awesome.
I always feel like I feel like I have the beginner's mind perpetually.
As we should. You know, Einstein said greatly something to the effect of intelligence can get you only so far, but curiosity will take you everywhere. And that's the beginner's mind. And I think that's part of, you know, coming to a conference. You come with beginner's mind, you come with the curiosity to see what people are doing and how you're doing it. Because someone could teach the exact same thing you're teaching, but yours will be different from the other. And the experience that you bring to Ho'oponopono and sound and the experience of deep listening, it's just a beautiful way of expressing this evolution we are all taking. Yeah. Eluv, thank you so much. I look forward to seeing you in person at the ISTA conference.
Thank you. Thank you. Likewise.
So everybody, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for listening to these amazing interview. You'll get to see Eluv live at the ISTA conference, and she's going to be talking October the 2nd. You're like starting us off October the 2nd at 10 a.m. Boom! It's going to set the stage for everything to come. So make your plans. Be at the ISTA conference October the 2nd through the 4th at the Omni Hotel in downtown Atlanta. Thank you all for being here. Love you all. And for me, I'm Don Reed Simmons, and you are inside the sound chamber. Thank you.